Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Gebo the Shaman, and today we're talking about what happens, basically I wanted to come on here and talk about using your actions to determine your outcomes. So, like for example, like how we kind of get out of like our depressive funks, sometimes we'll have depressive episodes and things like that where we just feel like crap, and there we don't see any way out. Like there is a way out, but we just have to use the tools that we know how to use to get out of that. And so um so yeah, that's what we'll be talking about today. Kind of like the choices that we make, the actions that we take, those things will either cause us to be, more depressed or less depressed. So this is kind of like a advice on how to overcome depression. And yeah. What is depression, first of all? Because I think there's a difference between depression and just feeling like crap. Or like being in a bad mood, or being depressed, or being, there's differences there. So what is depression? So depression is basically not being able to see a way out for yourself, not being able to see a future for yourself. So there's, that's a huge issue for a lot of people. They don't see any way that they can succeed and things like that, and so they get depressed. So and then there's like, just sadness and just feeling like just feeling kind of hopelessness. Hopelessness, I would say, is depression. But yeah, so there's a difference between like sadness and depression. And sadness, you just gotta kind of roll with that. Just feel your feelings. If you're sad because somebody died or something like that, like, you just gotta feel that. Feel your feelings and love yourself through it. So depression, not being able to see a future for yourself. Well, how does one get out of that? Well, if you continue to do the things that you do, and you're going to get the same results. So meaning, like, if you're just sitting on the couch eating Cheetos all day, or you're just laying in bed all day, you can't get up out of bed, things like that, like, you don't have the energy to do anything, those are symptoms of severe depression. You're sitting on the couch eating Cheetos, watching soap operas, crying your eyes out. that's severe depression. So anyway, so how do we get out of that? Well, like I said, if you continue to do the same things that you have always done, you will get the same results that you've always gotten. So if you continue to choose to sit on the couch, eat Cheetos, watch soap operas, drink, your sodas and, all that stuff, and just mope about and not find any solution. If you're more committed to just being depressed than you are to actually finding a solution and working your way out of it, then you're just going to continue being depressed. So step 1, choose to find a solution. Yes, you do have a choice. Yes, depression is a choice. Maybe not the initial feelings that come about, maybe not the initial depression, but the indulging in it, the moping, the, choosing to give in to those feelings, or to, choosing to indulge in those feelings, that is a choice. So you can either choose to find a way to improve, or you can choose to just do nothing and do what you've always done. And when you do what you've always done, like I said, you will get the results that you've always gotten. So, but, this channel and this video is all about how to get out of that. So, how do we get out of it? Well, one thing that's been helpful for me, which is why, the whole point of me teaching this stuff for you guys, is for you guys to use it. So, Cosmic Qigong and the Self-Transformation Challenge. When you do energy work like that, you'll have no choice but to feel good. It really does. It really makes me feel good every time I do it, because every time I do it, I'm tapping into that energy, and that energy, it's just nothing but love and nurturing and support and empowerment. So, step 1, I would choose to do something like this. And so if you sign up for my Patreon, it's not very expensive at all. It's like I think it's like $50 a month, maybe. I'm not sure. I might have lowered that price due to the sales that I have going on. But anyway, just the depression and the, getting out of it requires different action. So you could do Qigong, you could do, yoga, stretching. I find that getting out of my head and getting into my body, getting my body moving, doing things with my body, yoga, stretching. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just in fact, this right here combines yoga and Qigong, so that's a great package for you. So, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You just do what you can do, but the point is, get your butt up and do something. That's how you cure depression, is getting up and doing something, moving. Because oftentimes we're so stuck in our head that we forget about our body, our bodily needs. Our body needs movement. Our body needs exercise. Our body is physical, so it needs physical activity. So that means, like I said, Qigong, yoga, stretching, and even exercise, just go out for a walk. What I do is I go to the gym. So, every day, do something. Every day, make the decision to do one thing for yourself, for your body, physical. something that you can, do every day. So, a lot of times that it's just about making the decision to do things every day to empower yourself, to help your body, to, to get active, to get, get your body moving, get your energy flowing. Because what happens when your body is just sedentary, when you're just sitting on the couch eating Cheetos, watching soap operas? What happens when your body is sedentary? Well, that means that your energy isn't moving. Your energy isn't moving, you're not going to feel well. So, the point is, get your body moving, get your energy flowing, and you'll start to feel better. The other thing is, we oftentimes neglect our emotional health. So maybe you're feeling depressed, but because as like a secondary emotion. So maybe there's something that happened that you refuse to feel how painful that was, and so whenever you lock away your pain or your emotions, it becomes more powerful. Whenever you refuse to deal with your emotions and feel them and express them and just let yourself have them, whenever you refuse to do that, those emotions become more powerful. They go into the unconscious mind and they gain power there. And so it's really important that we feel all of our emotions but take contrary action. So, we need to feel all of our emotions. So whatever is coming up for you, make the decision to process that and feel that. So, journal about it, things like that. Reflect on it, journal on it, cry on it, cry about it, Just let yourself feel all of those emotions, whatever comes up. And by doing this, we're teaching our body, we're teaching ourselves that it's okay to have emotions, that's perfectly fine, that, that's just part of being human. We're going to have all kinds of crazy emotions, and that's okay, However, what most people do is they let their emotions determine their actions. They, for instance, they'll get very angry. They'll get a flash of anger, and then they'll go on a rampage. They'll go yell and scream at everybody and cause a big old, argument and whatever, just because they had a feeling of anger. That's not the most healthiest thing to do. So it's all about taking contrary action. You can, it's all about, not acting on those negative emotions, not taking negative action. You can, instead of, blowing up and acting out, you can say, like, instead of doing that, you can say, I'm feeling very angry right now. You can vocalize that, and that'll help, you know, that'll help you, basically. It's helpful to vocalize things, it's helpful to get things off of your chest, and to just be very honest about your emotions. However, taking contrary action means that instead of acting out on your anger, or maybe it's sadness, maybe it's depression, instead of like eating the bag of Cheetos and then feeling like crap about yourself, feeling worse about yourself because you ate a big old bag of Cheetos, instead of doing that, you get up, you get out of the house, you go to the gym, you work out, and and you let yourself have your emotions, but you take the contrary action. So that's step 2, or step 3, I don't know what we're on now, but just let yourself have the feelings, but take contrary action. Most people are so unconscious of their feelings that they just act out on them. You know, like they're. It's like the Carl Jung quote says. Carl Jung was a great psychologist, and he had a quote that says, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and you will call it fate." So, meaning that unconscious emotions, unconscious beliefs, emotions, anything like that will rule your life, and that. Why is that? Because they'll give you impulses, and you'll have no choice but to act on those, or seemingly have no choice, but everybody has a choice. So anyway, guys, just wanted to kind of leave it there. Hopefully I gave you some options, some tools, and yeah, it's sometimes making the choice to do what's in your best interest and not give in to the depression is very hard. But once you do that, I mean, it gets a lot better. Once you're more committed to feeling good and finding a solution for your depression, things get a lot better. So, alright, and then the other thing is, think about how good you have it compared to a lot of other people. And that's not to say that you should deny your feelings of of being worthless or whatever. It's just a matter of like putting it into perspective. If you're in America, if you're in the US, you have it a lot better than 90% of the world and a lot of countries. So, it's a good thing. So, there's a lot to be grateful for. So, I would recommend doing a gratitude list too. It's all about shifting that mindset from woe is me, and also like having that low self-esteem and things like that. you know, that's all very difficult to overcome. But I mean, you know, if you just make the commitment to doing it, to making things better for yourself, make the choice, make the commitment, and you'll see. Instead of thinking about, you know, how can I avoid my feelings? How can I make myself more comfortable and avoid my feelings? You'll be thinking, how can I feel better? You know, what actions can I take to make myself feel better? And so there's healthy actions and unhealthy actions. So choosing the healthy actions, you know, will be very helpful for you. So anyway, guys, check out my stuff that I have to offer. You can check out GabboTheShaman.com. And yeah, I also have one of the things that I didn't put up here is I have an emotional awareness course. Basically, emotional awareness course, it helps you discover your emotions and helps you become aware of them and helps you to cope with them, find healthy coping mechanisms and things like that. Help make your emotions less intolerable and more tolerable. Things like that. Yeah, because I think a lot of us have a problem tolerating our emotions. I know I do. Every time I have an intense emotion, that's very uncomfortable for me. But that's just, you know, it can all be overcome, and I'm learning how to become more comfortable with my emotions, and I hope you will do the same through that emotional awareness course. Alright guys, so you can find that on my Patreon, patreon.com/GabboTheShaman, and we will talk to you next time. Alrighty, peace.